Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today we're diving into one of the most hilarious and unexpected moments from Are You Sure? Season 2 that has literally taken over the internet and has both ARMY and carrots absolutely losing their minds with laughter. We're talking about a moment involving Jimin, Jungkook, and 17's MINGYU that nobody saw coming, and what makes it even funnier is the context around it and the reactions from everyone involved. If you've been seeing people talking about Al Pacino dispen all over social media and have been confused about what that even means, you're in the right place because I'm going to explain everything. And trust me, by the end of this video, you're going to understand why this has become one of the most memed moments in K-pop right now and why Jungkook is probably never going to let Jimin live this down. So make sure you're subscribed, hit that like button, drop a comment telling me your favorite Are You Sure moment, and let's get into this absolutely chaotic and hilarious story. Alright, so let me start by setting the scene and giving you all the context you need to fully appreciate why this moment is so funny and why it's gone so viral. Are You Sure? Is the travel variety show starring BTS's Jimin and Jungkook where they travel to different locations and just hang out, have fun, do activities, and basically give fans this really intimate look at their friendship and dynamic. Season 1 was already hugely successful and beloved by fans, and when Season 2 was announced, everyone was incredibly excited to see more of their adventures together. The show is produced really well, it's funny, it's heartwarming, and it shows a side of Jimin and Jungkook that we don't always get to see in more formal content. So when Season 2 started dropping episodes in December 2025, fans were already watching eagerly and dissecting every moment. Now, in one of the recent episodes, Jimin and Jungkook were playing a game called the Character Game, and if you're not familiar with how this game works, let me explain. Basically, they're shown photos of different people, celebrities, characters, whatever, and they have to quickly identify who it is or say the first thing that comes to mind. It's a pretty common variety show game in Korea, and it's designed to be fast-paced and spontaneous, which means people often give funny or unexpected answers because they're not thinking too carefully, they're just reacting. The game usually shows a mix of really famous people who everyone should recognize and then sometimes throws in more obscure references to see if the players know them. So Jimin and Jungkook are playing this game, they're having fun, they're laughing, they're going through different photos, and then a photo of 17's MINGYU appears on the screen. Now, this is where the context becomes really important and why this moment is so much funnier than it might initially seem. MINGYU is not just some random K-pop idol that Jungkook has heard of in passing. MINGYU is actually one of Jungkook's close friends. They're both part of what fans call the 97 line, which is K-pop idols born in 1997, and this friend group includes people like Jungkook, MINGYU, GOT7's Yugyeom, BTS's Jungkook, Astro's Eunwoo, and NCT's Jaehyun. These guys are known to hang out together, they support each other, they've been photographed together at various events, and they clearly have a genuine friendship that goes beyond just being colleagues in the industry. So when MINGYU's photo comes up in this game, the natural expectation is that Jimin would recognize him, right? I mean, even if Jimin isn't close friends with MINGYU personally, MINGYU is one of Jungkook's good friends, 17 is one of the biggest groups in K-pop, and they're all in the same industry. But what happens next is absolutely priceless and completely unexpected. When MINGYU's photo appears, Jimin looks at it, and instead of saying MINGYU or 17's MINGYU or anything that would make sense, Jimin's answer is, and I quote, Al Pacino dispen. Now, if you just paused the video and went wait, what, you're not alone. That was literally everyone's reaction when this aired. Al Pacino dispen. What does that even mean? How does someone look at a photo of MINGYU, a tall handsome K-pop idol, and think of Al Pacino, the legendary American actor known for roles like The Godfather and Scarface, plus the word dispen which doesn't even make sense in this context? The internet immediately exploded with confusion and laughter. Fans were tweeting things like hours later and I still don't understand why he called MINGYU Al Pacino dispen, and Al Pacino dispen I'm crying what does this even mean, and my personal favorite, I am convinced Jimin just said random words and hoped for the best. The hashtag started trending, fan artists started making memes, and honestly, it became one of those moments that perfectly captures why people love unscripted variety content because you literally cannot predict what's going to happen. No scriptwriter would come up with Al Pacino dispen as an answer for MINGYU's photo because it makes absolutely no logical sense, which is precisely why it's so funny. Now, let's talk about Jungkook's reaction because this is where the left Jungkook speechless part of our title comes in. According to people who watched the episode, Jungkook's face when Jimin said this was absolutely priceless. He just kind of stopped, looked at Jimin with this expression of complete bewilderment, and you could see him processing what just happened. Remember, this is Jungkook's friend we're talking about. MINGYU is someone Jungkook hangs out with, someone he's close to, and Jimin just called him Al Pacino Dispen. The combination of confusion, secondhand embarrassment, and barely suppressed laughter on Jungkook's face was everything. You could tell Jungkook was thinking multiple things at once. How does my Hyung not recognize my friend? What is Al Pacino Dispen? Am I going to have to explain this to MINGYU later? And probably this is never going to be forgotten. What makes this even funnier is that this wasn't the only person Jimin failed to recognize during this game. Apparently, Jimin also didn't immediately recognize 17's Wonwoo, another member of the same group. So it's not even a one-time thing. Jimin apparently was just not having a good day with recognizing people, or maybe he's just really bad at this particular game, or maybe he was distracted, who knows. But the fact that he failed to recognize multiple 17 members, including one who was literally Jungkook's close friend, just added another layer of hilarity to the whole situation. Fans were joking that Jimin needs to study a photo album of all of Jungkook's friends before they do any more variety shows. Let's dig into why Jimin might have had this epic fail moment, because I think understanding the context makes it even funnier. First of all, these games are designed to be fast-paced and put you on the spot. When you're under pressure to answer quickly and you're being filmed and you know this is going to be broadcast to millions of people, your brain can do weird things. Sometimes people blank on things they absolutely know when they're under pressure. Second, while Jimin and MINGYU are both in the K-pop industry and probably have met at award shows or events, they're not close friends the way Jungkook and MINGYU are. Jimin might genuinely not be super familiar with what MINGYU looks like, especially if the photo was taken from a particular angle or in certain lighting. And third, sometimes in these games, people's brains just go to the weirdest places. Maybe there was something about the photo that reminded Jimin of Al Pacino for some reason, and then his brain added Dispen, which might be some kind of inside joke or reference that we don't know about, and it all just came out as this completely nonsensical answer. Now, the really funny part about all of this is imagining what happened after this episode aired. Can you imagine Jungkook's text messages with MINGYU after this? Fans were speculating that Jungkook probably immediately called MINGYU being like, "Bro, you need to watch this episode, I'm so sorry, I have no idea what Hyung was thinking." And MINGYU, being the good-natured person he seems to be, probably thought it was hilarious. I mean, if one of your friend's bandmates accidentally called you Al Pacino Dispen on national television, you kind of have to laugh about it. It's such a random and harmless mistake that there's no way to be actually offended by it. Plus, now MINGYU has the funniest story to tell at gatherings. Yeah, so BTS's Jimin once looked at my photo and said I was Al Pacino Dispen. That's honestly an incredible icebreaker. The fan reactions to this moment have been absolutely golden. Army and Carrots, who are 17's fans, have been having so much fun with this together. There haven't been any fan wars or drama, just collective laughter and appreciation for how funny and random this moment was. Fans have been creating artwork of MINGYU as Al Pacino, they've been making compilation videos of Jimin's confused face moments, they've been writing funny fictional scenarios about Jungkook trying to explain this to MINGYU, and honestly, the creativity that has come out of this one moment is amazing. It's these kinds of moments that really show the fun side of K-pop fandoms where everyone can just laugh together about something silly. There's also something really endearing about this moment that I think is worth talking about. In an industry that can sometimes feel very polished and carefully managed, where every word is scripted and every moment is choreographed, having these genuine, spontaneous, completely chaotic moments reminds us that these are real people who make mistakes and have brain farts and say weird things just like everyone else. Jimin didn't mean to not recognize MINGYU, he wasn't trying to be disrespectful or shady, his brain just completely malfunctioned in that moment and produced possibly the most random answer in game show history. And that humanity, that relatability, is actually really refreshing and charming. It makes fans feel closer to these artists because we've all had moments where we've said something completely nonsensical or forgotten something we definitely should have known. Looking at this from Jungkook's perspective is also really interesting because you can tell he was caught between multiple reactions. On one hand, he probably wanted to laugh because it is objectively hilarious. On the other hand, there's probably a little bit of "oh no, my Hyung just did this on camera and it's going to be everywhere," and also maybe a tiny bit of concern about what MINGYU will think. But knowing the relationship between Jimin and Jungkook, and knowing that they obviously love each other and tease each other constantly, Jungkook is definitely going to bring this up for years. Every time they play any kind of guessing game, Jungkook is going to be like, "Okay Hyun, try not to call anyone Al Pacino dispen this time." It's going to become one of those inside jokes that gets referenced constantly in their dynamic. What I also love about this moment is how it's brought attention to the 97-line friendships and the connections between different groups. For fans who maybe didn't know that Jungkook and MINGYU were friends, this moment actually educated them about these cross-group friendships that exist in the K-pop industry. It's really cool that despite being in different groups and different companies, these idols maintain genuine friendships and support systems. And now, thanks to Jimin's epic fail, even more people are aware of these connections, which is actually kind of sweet even though the moment itself was chaotic. The meme potential of Al Pacino dispen is also basically infinite. Fans have already started using it as a response to anything confusing or when they don't know the answer to something. Someone posts a photo and asks "who is this?" and someone replies "Al Pacino dispen" as a joke. It's become this whole thing that has transcended the original moment and become part of the K-pop internet vocabulary. That's honestly the mark of a truly iconic variety show moment, when it creates a phrase or reference that lives on independently and gets used in all sorts of contexts. From a content perspective, moments like this are actually really valuable for variety shows. Are you sure? Could have easily been a very safe, very scripted show where everything is planned and predictable, but instead they let Jimin and Jungkook just be themselves, play games, and whatever happens happens. And yeah, sometimes what happens is Jimin calling MINGYU Al Pacino dispen, but that's what makes it entertaining. That's what makes people want to watch. If everything was perfect and polished, it would be less fun. The chaos, the mistakes, the unexpected moments are what create viral content and what make shows memorable. So guys, that's the complete story of what Jimin said about MINGYU that left Jungkook absolutely speechless. Al Pacino dispen has officially entered K-pop history as one of the most random and hilarious variety show answers ever, and I genuinely don't think anyone involved in that moment will ever live it down. Jimin will forever be known as the person who looked at MINGYU and saw Al Pacino, MINGYU will forever be Al Pacino dispen in the hearts of fans, and Jungkook will forever have the memory of watching his Hyun completely fail to recognize his friend in the most spectacular way possible. This is why we love Are You Sure? This is why we love unscripted content, and this is why K-pop variety shows are just the best. Have you watched this episode yet? What was your reaction when Jimin said Al Pacino dispen? Do you think Jungkook is going to tease Jimin about this forever? Let me know all your thoughts in the comments. And if you enjoyed this deep dive into one of the funniest K-pop moments of 2025, please give this video a huge thumbs up, share it with everyone who needs a good laugh, subscribe if you haven't already, and hit that notification bell. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.